Hey YouTube, Untamed here. So in today's video I wanted to show you guys my newly installed Diamondback HD heavy duty bed cover on my 2021 Ford Raptor here. If you guys frequent my channel, you know that I recently had the same exact Diamondback bed cover on my Tundra Tier D Pro. But when I sold my iKamper, the gentleman who bought that really wanted the Diamondback because if you remember, it had the front runner rack system already mounted to it, which made for a seamless transaction. I sold the whole entire thing to him. Of course, he paid for the Diamondback as well, and it worked out very well. However, I did not plan to get rid of that because I love the Diamondback. So right after I secured the Raptor here, I ended up ordering another one. So it's the same exact one. The only thing I didn't do this time around is the front runner rack. So I'll show you, do a little walk around it, and I'll show you why it is so awesome. So I spec'd it the same, quote unquote spec'd it, meaning I requested to have the cleats pre-installed, you know, a little bit more of a upcharge for it, but I think, you know, just of course it adds to the functionality of it, which is pretty cool to get these all around it. Diamondback does offer a non-grooved version of it. I mean, the grooved is not the right word for it, but you know, a smooth surface version, which looks equally good, and depending on who you're talking to, it might even look better. But to me, I think this looks awesome. It looks the part very well. Kind of give you different angles of it, and really, I mean, the way I'm seeing this code orange come up on the camera here, it really is a good representation of what the color is. Oftentimes, it looks more red or super orange, and I think this kind of is a realistic look at it. Hopefully it comes across that way when we upload this. At any rate, so you got cleats around the back too. You got your center. This is where you actually open it. I'll show you that here in a second with the lock. And one thing, this is a little fun fact, I was talking to the guys at Diamondback. They actually went to great lengths to implement awesome locks within these. So they even invited a bunch of locksmith individuals who came in and they struggled with it. I think only a couple of the group were even able to pick that lock. So it is very secure. Get the Diamondback across the tail here, which looks sweet. Show you within it. Sorry, you're getting a lot of glare. Show you underneath it. So you can kind of see there, I guess one obstacle that I bumped into with this is the C-clamps here. So you got those two C-clamps right there, and then you got two C-clamps over here. Those worked out a little bit better for me. But compared to the Tundra, there's a lot less space underneath. And I'm not gonna be able to communicate this very well, but underneath here, it was pretty difficult. As you see, it's kind of in between here. And underneath there's not a whole lot of flat surface space for us to actually put the C-clamp up underneath it. Obviously it made it work just fine, and I'm not worried about it whatsoever, but you can see that one there is a little more janky compared to the other one, but it is absolutely secure, so no issues with that. Gonna give you a snapshot of what it looks like underneath. And here are your adjustments for the actual pivot lock here. So when we unlock it and you rotate it, it allows this entire bar to free and fully clear this section here, allowing you to open it with the gas struts. You see one of the struts there. So I'll show you. Throw away. Twist it and let it go up. So pretty cool. And if you have, you know, expensive belongings or anything you want to make sure that you don't lose to anybody, it's definitely going to keep it secure. Not to mention, if you live in a state where it snows a lot, it is kind of nice having peace of mind that you can have a whole lot of snow build up on your bed cover and know that it's not going to like cave in or bend it, right? That's not going to happen on this, because I think I should have looked at it before this, but it can hold a tremendous amount of weight on top of this. Extremely durable. All right. So you get this little rope here, reach out. And you just rotate it shut. I'll show you this too for fun. before I show you the front, opted just to get some of their ratchet straps or ratchet tie downs, which are, you know, made for this particular setup. Could you get the same exact thing probably at Harbor Freight? Yeah, but figured why not. So pretty cool. Oh, speaking of which, in case you guys didn't know, you get a fancy little measuring ruler system here on your tailgate of your Raptor. Maybe just so you can constantly measure your ego, keep yourself in check. All right, it goes up just like that, just fine, and it's pretty secure, pretty snug. It is, I would comfortably say, you know, water sealed, watertight, water seal tight. Up front is the only debatable piece. So obviously just fine through here, but you do get an additional. So you got 3M tape on the back end of this one here. This little gasket piece right here, and you cut it to length. So obviously you stretch it all the way across the whole front there, and you cut it to size. So right here, maybe I can see some stuff getting through, perhaps, but even then it is touching seal to seal. I'll show you this side. I was opening it up. So here's your entry point from this part of it, of course. Again, you got another lock within here. Put your thing away. So this one is a little bit more unique because you have two phases, if you will. So right there, you can see this mechanism catches it. I think perhaps it's like a safety feature too. If it were to, for some reason, come up free while you're driving, it's not going to totally, you know, sail you, catch all the wind. So kind of cool. But anyways, to release it and bump it down here, all you gotta do is put a little bit of pressure up top here, push down just barely, but at the same time with your other hand, free this, push this upward. So you're pushing down and upward at the same time. So you're not gonna really see it because I only got one hand. And bada bing. So pretty cool. Again, here's more of that cut to length seal there. I do wonder what the adhesion is if it's gonna remain over time, because we are up against the bed liner on it. So it feels just fine and went on just fine too. I wonder what the longevity will look like of that for the 4 weeks of ownership I have this, right? So here's the bar latch system. As you rotate it up top, there's the underside of that latch, the top portion there, the release. And of course, a lot of adjustability. So I think it looks the part. One maybe minor gripe is, and this is I think maybe with a little bit of adjustment, and maybe over time it'll come down a little bit, but I do notice that this time around it sits a little higher up front, whereas of course it comes together. This is where the C-clamps are, so it's pretty snug. It should be, right? I mean, it's super snug right there, but can't see what I'm talking about. It comes up a little bit. So, and at first when I did it, I had my wife, she sat up here as I was underneath it, setting the crossbars here to the point where when you actually twist it, it's going to be very snug. However, you're not always going to have somebody sitting on top of it when you close it, right? So you kind of got to give it a little bit of leeway, so where you can actually push it down and rotate it closed. So you kind of play that one by ear as you're doing it. You don't want to be, trying to jump on top of it just to shut it every time, if that makes sense. But we'll tinker more with that, and I'm sure we'll get it good. So this is easily my favorite bed cover. After having owned it for a while, I knew for a fact this is going to be the one that I put on the Raptor here. So huge fan of it. Shout out to Diamondback for making a pretty sweet product here. And like I said, I called them a couple times, and they've always had tremendous customer service. And when I ordered it, I think I had it really within 2 weeks, which is pretty crazy. When I had my my previous Tundra, if you guys remember, had the, I became a pretty big fan of the BAKflip MX4. That's that trifold. And the reason why I think people would gravitate to that one over this one, if they did, is just because it's streamlined, right? So it's flush with the top of the bed, you know, so it looks a little bit more flush. It looks more streamlined, like I said. So I think that would be the only reason why anyone would gravitate to that. However, if you're looking for a super rugged or durable one, this is absolutely it. Very capable, tie stuff down to it, of course. Don't have to worry about it ever breaking on you, because it is absolutely not going to. You can park your quad up there, anything you want. I mean, it's gonna be able to take anything you throw at it. So, huge fan of this. And this will absolutely, even if I get different vehicles, this will always be my go-to when it comes to bed covers. So, I'll wrap up the video there, guys. Just want to share that with you and see what your thoughts were. Appreciate you watching as always. Until next time.